It is day 12 of March Madness, and I'm here with my magic circle to do a little mini magic circle workout inspired by the exercise called the Swan dive, or sometimes we just call it Swan. So I'm starting today on my knees. I'm going to take my magic circle out here in front of me, and I'm kind of setting it on the pads, and then I'm going to hold on the outside. Now, what you'll notice is if you put too much pressure, like this thing's going to fall over, right? So that's what I like about it. You got to be a little bit cautious. You can hang on, but anchor your shoulder blades. Put just a little weight into this circle here. A little squish, but don't smash it all the way. And I want us to just play with a little moving through our spine. So I'm going to drop my head around my back. I'm going to push my arms into the circle to play with how I can get some more round and movement in my back. And then I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to kind of lift my head, squeeze my shoulder blades together, stick my tail out behind me, and look ahead. Let's do some of those. You can inhale one direction, and then exhale the other. Notice that moving through your upper back as well as your mid and low back. Try to get that full kind of roll through each little piece of your spine, rounded back. And then lift the head, pull the shoulder blades together, go into that arch, kind of that swan-like place. Let's do one more. We'll round our back. And then lift our head, pull our shoulder blades together, reach our hips behind. Nice. Now, go ahead and just round the back. Stack yourself back up onto your knees. We're going to take these circles behind us. In this kneeling position, as much as you can, kind of push your butt forward, your hips forward, so you get a little stretch in your thighs. It is some work just to be in this position. We're lifting tall. The circle's behind me, and I can either have a straight arm or a little bit of bend. I want to feel my shoulder blades hug together toward my spine, and we're going to just do some little presses here. Squeeze, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I want you to grab your circle. I like this with a pretty straight arm, but if you feel like you need a little bend, that's okay. But I'm going to grab my circle, and in this same position, I'm going to pull outward. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's do both of those again. So next up, we'll squeeze. We'll stay tall. We'll do a little squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll grab our circle and we'll pull apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Okay, now from this position, I'm still grabbing my circle. I just want us to play with a little swan from this kneeling position. So I'm going to gently tip my head back. I'm going to start pulling my shoulder blades together, and I'm going to just play with gently lifting my arms as my hips press forward as I do a gentle back bend. All right, what feels good for you? Now, if you're feeling like, oh, I could lean back into this a little, you can. And then when you come out of it, you kind of reverse all that and come center. Let's do 2 more there. The whole time I'm pulling apart, so my arms are working, pulling apart in that magic circle. So tip the head back, hug the shoulder blades together, and go into that gentle arch. Feel how you got to really push your thighs and hips forward as you reach into your back bend. And then coming back. All right, one more time. Head lifts, chest out. We're lifting the circle, right? So it's not just a lean back. You're bending backwards, but you're also lifting those arms, or lifting the circle away from you, I guess. And then we come out of it and come back to center. Good. All right. Now give those shoulders a little roll. We're going to make our way down to our mat and play with some little variations of our swan. What I want us to do is have our legs inside our circle. They can be on the pads. They don't necessarily have to be on this. We're going to come down as long as you're in there. In fact, it might be better not to have them on the pads, I guess. Let's set up. And what I want, and you'll notice this as soon as you get there, as you press outward into the circle, just to hold like that is some work. Hands under shoulders. We're going to hover our head, and I just want you to have the magic circle sitting there, and you're pressing outward into the circle. Hips are pressing in. Already you should be firing up in your butt and your hamstrings just to hold that. You're going to hold that and do a little swan here. You're going to lift your head, pull your shoulder blades together and down, bend piece by piece into your back bend. There is no right or wrong how far up you go. Wherever you get to, you're just coming back down, hovering above the mat. Those legs are working the entire time. I know it's work. I'm feeling it too. Lift the head, pull those shoulder blades together, gaze up, up, up as you come up, and coming back down. Now, take a little rest if you need. Here's what we're going to add to that on the next one. We'll do this little part and then we'll put this all together. But once you come out of your swan, or it's essentially the swan start position, I want you to see what it feels like if you're pressing outward into the circle. Could you lift your thighs and lower them? You had to look really close to see mine lift if you're watching, right? Like, I am working like crazy, but to keep my hips pressed forward and just do a little lift and lower feels like so much work. Not a big movement, lots of good work. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do our swan, lift our head, sternum, chest, come up into our swan. We're going to come out of our swan. We're going to hover at the bottom and we're going to do a little lift our legs and then circle to the floor. Same thing. Inhale, we rise up. Exhale as you come back down. At that bottom moment, you just lift the thighs up and lower them back down. Inhale. Head, sternum, chest comes up. It's your swan. As you come back down into the start position, you lift the thighs and lower. Let's do one more of those. Feels like that's about all we need to do. They're a lot of work. Lift to roll up, roll back down, lift, and lower. Good. Okay. Now, go ahead and take your circle out. We're going to put the circle up in front of us and play with just one more of our swans today. I'm setting my magic circle with the pads down. And then I'm going to have my hands on, kind of be, I don't know, still on the top, but outside of my magic circle. Shoulder blades anchor. When I start this, I'm hovering. I'm not way down here. I'm kind of hovering between my arms. Now my legs, I'm going to have them active. I kind of want to repeat that thing we just did where you push your hips forward, your legs might lift a little. They're pretending like they had that magic circle. And then I'm going to press down into my circle as I lift my head, sternum, chest to come up. And then as I roll down into the hover, can you do that little thing where you lift your thighs up a little at the bottom and then come back up? Legs can hold in that same spot as you come up. Lift your head, sternum, chest, your swan. As you roll back down into that hover, can you lift your thighs? Just one lift. One more time. Inhale, head, sternum, chest, lift. As you come down, one last lift of those legs. And then back down. Awesome job. Okay, sit back in a little child's pose and take a stretch. Or a cat if you prefer, like a little cat moment. But just give yourself, we did a lot of back bending today. So let yourself stretch out that low back any way you like. And then just let yourself roll back up to seated. And then we're all done. Thank you for joining me today for some swan fun. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for some more March Madness with the Magic Circle fun.